Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day because if you're a fan of Wuchang Fallen Feathers, and especially if you want to play the game on PC, you probably aren't having a very great day. And that is because of the abysmal performance on the game. Man, yet another Unreal Engine 5 title with lackluster performance. Not shocking in the slightest. I made a YouTube video about a year ago called Unreal Engine 5 is a stuttery mess of an engine, and it just so happens that every single time an Unreal Engine 5 game comes out, that video gets a mysterious spike in views, which I do think is pretty funny. Wuchang Fallen Feathers clocks up 114,000 concurrent player peak on launch day, but reports of poor performance dominate player reviews. This game needs a free demo for this exact reason. Yeah, and I agree with this quote, by the way. I think games should have free demos so people can see how well they run. I'm glad there was a demo for Monster Hunter Wilds so I could see, yeah, I'm not supporting this shit until they fix it, which they never did. But it's sad that we've gotten to a point in modern gaming where people are requesting demos, not because they don't know if they're interested in the game or not, because they want to know if the game will fucking run or not. Like, that is kinda sad. When I first got into PC gaming back in 2019, I bought a 2070 Super, and shit like this was unheard of. Your game ran well on a 2070 Super, no matter what. Pretty much. You never had situations like this, and if you did, they were very rare. And you want to know the crazy part about it? You didn't need DLSS for games to run well. Games ran well natively, which is something that you're never going to see in modern gaming ever again, I swear to God. Nowadays, your game runs like shit with upscalers, whereas they used to run well without upscalers at all. Wuchang Fallen Feathers has launched to 114,000 concurrent players on Steam, making it one of the biggest launches for a non-From Software Souls-like game yet. It's currently the 8th biggest game on Steam by concurrent player count, smashing through the 100,000 concurrent player barrier and clocking up 114,132 players in the last 24 hours. By comparison, and according to data supplied by SteamDB, Lies of P's highest concurrent peak is a little over 30,000 players, Lords of the Fallen is 43,075 players, and the first Berserker Kazan is just shy of 33,000. Now, I'll admit I played a little bit of this game, and it was fun. It was a fun game. It is definitely, from a gameplay perspective, very solid, but at the end of the day, I just can't support performance like this, which is why I chose not to buy the game after playing for a while on Game Pass. You can have the greatest game in the world, but if you have terrible performance, that's really going to sour the experience for a lot of people, and bar a lot of people from even playing the game in the first place. I played on a 4070, 32GB of RAM, and a 14900 KF, and the performance was decent at best. Which, with specs like those, there's no reason you can't be getting great performance, because we see great performance on other games with these specs. Now, I was lucky to even be able to play the game because there's a lot of people that reported not even being able to get into the game because the game would keep crashing on their CPU, on Intel CPUs, whenever they tried to launch the game. Now, you could say that this is an Intel problem, but how come people are only reporting this issue with this game? People aren't reporting this issue with other games that are on the exact same engine with Intel CPUs, so clearly it's a problem with this game. There is genuinely no excuse for a problem this big to be present in a brand new video game that launches in 2025. That is fucking insane. Did they even have testers test this before they put it out? Or did they just say, we'll put it out and we'll see how it goes? Spoiler, it didn't fucking go well. Concurrent players isn't the only metric we should use when measuring how successful a game is, of course, but it's a good starting point, even though it doesn't account for players on other platforms. Well, we don't have those sales numbers, so, I mean, what are we really supposed to do? Despite the launch day success, however, Wuchang Fallen Feathers has originally released 2 overwhelmingly negative user reviews on Steam, but has since upgraded to mostly negative as players report issues with extremely awful performance, and a completely lifeless main character, and clunky combat and gameplay. At the time of writing, just 21% of the 6,500 plus reviews left on Steam are positive. Now, there's a few things I want to say about this paragraph here. First of all, yeah, the performance is god-awful, man. People are struggling to have 60 FPS on a 4060 using an upscaler, which is honestly pathetic. I don't know how well things are on the console side of things. I did not play this game on a console, so I can't speak on that. If you have played the game on console, feel free to let me know in the comments how well does the game run. Does it run like hot ass, or does it run well? Did you notice the performance issues? Did it hinder your experience and your enjoyment of the game? I'm interested to know. Now, I find the comment about the main character being lifeless really stupid. We're talking about a Souls game here. Most people playing Souls games don't give a fuck about the story, let's just be honest, and are we gonna act like the characters in Souls games are known for being these, like, emotional, complex characters or anything? Come on now. The other point I want to address is the combat feeling clunky. I get what they're trying to say, but I don't think clunky is really the right word. I'd say slow is a better word to describe it. Like, a lot of the times you don't feel like you can get your attacks off before getting hit, which might stop you from using a lot of the special moves. Maybe that's just my experience with like the 40 or 50 minutes I put into the game, but I definitely felt that way. But let's continue here. Somebody made a quote saying, "Wanted to give this game a good chance. I was excited for this. I had seen the mostly negative rating and checked the concerns, and I can say now that as of this moment, they are correct," wrote one reviewer. The game has some massive performance issues. I tried just playing because sometimes gameplay can more than make up for lacking in other areas. I was unfortunately not able to see much of the combat. I did fight the opening tutorial boss, I did fight through a few camps of enemies, and at one point, during the boss fight, I was enjoying it and having fun. I was unable to experience more of that due to the overshadowing performance issues. So yeah, just the average modern gaming experience for a lot of people in recent years. I'd say the bad performance really picked up around 2022. At least that's how I feel personally, and every single time a game uses Unreal Engine 5, I kind of groan because I know this is going to be the experience. I know it's not going to run well, I know I'm going to have to likely use frame generation and upscaling to get an enjoyable experience, which is not something you should have to do. Games should be optimized, and those options should be there for running the heavy ray tracing and for lower end GPUs and stuff. I do find it crazy that everyone was just jerking off Unreal Engine 5 a few years ago saying it was the future of gaming, and here we are a couple years later and everyone groans when they see that a game uses Unreal Engine 5 and dreads the awful performance that the game is likely to have. Truly the future of gaming, guys. You know, this engine has been the industry standard for quite a while now. I think it's about time that we learn how to optimize it. I mean, you guys have had plenty of time. And if you can't, maybe stick with Unreal Engine 4. Stellar Blade uses Unreal Engine 4, it runs and looks great, there's nothing wrong with how the game looks, so maybe take notes from those devs. UE5 games is a hit or miss when it comes to performance, and in this case it's a miss unfortunately, at least for my system. Added another. This game needs a free demo for this exact reason. It's not all bad though. I'm one of the lucky ones. The game runs fine on my rig. You know, it's just a classic from the PC community. Said a happier reviewer. And that makes one thing crystal clear. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is being unfairly crucified by players with garbage PCs and zero optimization knowledge. Hold the fuck up for a minute here. We all seen the numbers. Tech review channels have shown the numbers on high-end PCs, and I can say the game is optimized like ass. Don't try to say we all just have garbage PCs. Get the fuck out of here. Now, for the rest of this article, they just talk about the game and what they think about it and the story and all of that kind of stuff, which I don't really care to go over, to be honest. I'm here to talk about the performance specifically. I will say the game is fun when you can get it to work, but it definitely needs a lot of work. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't like this video, you can leave a dislike and a mean comment. But I want to know what you guys think of Wuchang Fallen Feathers in general, just down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the performance, how well it runs for you, and yeah, I'm out, guys.